Hello and welcome to FX Addicts Weekly Market Analysis. This is Tim, the Currency Professor, and today is Friday, May 10th, 2013. We had some pretty good action today and yesterday, so we'll get to that in just a minute. Just real quick, some economic data. Yesterday in the U.S., unemployment claims came in at 323,000. And that was the lowest number we've seen in a very long time, so it is very encouraging for U.S. unemployment data. And this is now becoming a trend where we're seeing these weekly numbers falling down a little bit, and that is really a very, very positive thing for the U.S. economy. Next week, we have a full docket of data out. Starting on Monday, we have industrial production and retail sales coming out from China. Again, we're watching these numbers with kind of a half-hearted belief in them because they are always very strong and they're very consistent. So we are looking for, or at least the expectations are for, increases for both industrial production and retail sales. Again, we'll wait and see how much those numbers actually come out at. In the U.S., also retail sales on Monday, expectations are for a decline of 0.3%. Last month's number declined 0.4. Then on Tuesday in Europe, industrial production and the zoo economic sentiment. So both of those are expected to be positive, better than last month. So those could be a very good influence for the euro on Tuesday. Then Wednesday we have GDP out of Europe for France, Germany, Italy, and all of Europe. Expectations are for negative numbers, and so we'll end up with two negatives in a row, with the exception of Germany, which is expecting a positive 0.3%. But for all of Europe, expectations are for a decline of 0.1%. And last month was a decline also of last quarter was a decline of 0.6%. So everyone's going to be watching those numbers fairly closely and looking to see what happens there. Also on Wednesday is unemployment numbers from England. No big surprises expected. In the U.S., capacity utilization and industrial production. Industrial production expected to show a negative 0.1%, so not too big of a deal. And then on Thursday we get GDP from Japan, so expectations are for a 0.7% gain in GDP for the last quarter here. So it'd be interesting to see if that actually happens. And then further on in the U.S., housing starts on Thursday, expected to show a little bit less of a number than last month, 0.98 million, 1.04 was last month. Also the Philly Fed expecting to show a better number of 2.5 versus 1.3 from last month. So that should take us into the week next week, and should see some good volatility then on Wednesday and Thursday. In the meantime, let's look at the technicals. Today, very wild day. Yesterday, very wild day. Now today it's going to be very important how a lot of these markets close. Right now, the euro down about 56 pips. We were down about 100 and something earlier and have since recovered quite a bit. We are below the 130 level. We need to close below 129.50. If we close today, the day as well as the week below 129.50, then that will signal a continued sell-off. And we can see that also here on the weeklies. That would be a clear reversal pattern there on the weeklies. On the monthlies, we're still looking at about half of last month's range, and we're almost halfway through the month of May. So still looking indecisive at this point from that long-term view. British pound against the dollar, down right now about 90 pips. We were down about 130, 140 earlier. We need to close below this trend line, which is about 153.35. So if we can get it closed below that today, that would be very bearish. That would resume then the downward trend, confirm that this is just a corrective move in the longer term downtrend. And on the weeklies also, we would be pushing the lower envelope here of this little upward correction that we've had on the weeklies. So we would be at 153.35. We would be at the lower end of that range. On the monthlies, we're reversing fairly well last month's gains, albeit not a whole lot at this point, about 1/3. So we could very easily end the month right back down to where we were at the beginning of last month. So there is a lot to be said here for the price action. If we cannot rally up and close up above this trend line on a monthly basis, then the continuation of the downward trend will pick up a little more force here and a little more momentum. U.S. dollar against the Swiss franc up quite a bit, up about 81 pips right now. We're up over 120, 130 at one stage, up over 96. Very, very strong movement here. Really with the weakening of the Swiss, so we'll look at the euro against the Swiss also. But second day in a row now, so very important how we close. We need to close at this level or higher today, and on a weekly basis it would be even better if we closed at the highs of the day. That would be very, very positive. That would signal that it's kind of a pull out from this rut that we've been in for the last about 1 year or so, 12 months. On a monthly basis, we're pushing that trend line there. We're getting very, very close to it. That is a trend line that goes way back many years. So we need to close significantly above that. Ideally, it would be nice to see us close at about 103, 103.50. Of course, we're still quite a ways away from that. But at some point here, it looks like we're starting to get some momentum. If we did get up there in the next few months, then we could see a lot of aggressive buying. U.S. dollar against the Japanese yen. Right now up about 95 pips. Second day in a row. We busted the 100 mark yesterday and have not really looked back since. We were pushing the 102 envelope today and really thought that we were going to get up there. We still might. We have about 2 hours, 2.5 hours left in the trading session, so a lot can happen. If we were to close above 102.40 area, 102.35, that would be extremely positive, and then we would probably not look back at this level for an extremely long time, and we would rally up quite a bit. On the weekly, we can see this extended range on the week. Really depends on how we close today. If we were to close higher than where we are right now, it'd be a very, very strong indication for next week as well. So we could see some pretty good move up next week if we close at our highs today. Now on the monthlies, really we're at very little resistance once we close above this area, and there really isn't much until we get up to about the 108, 110 level. So really anticipate us getting up there fairly quickly now that we've broken the 100 level. Euro Swiss, also very big move today, up about 50 pips right now. We're up about 75.80 earlier and we've fallen back. Really would like to see this market close up above 124 where we are right now, or higher, preferably the higher the better. And if we look on the weeklies, we can see how that little curved bottom there is starting to show its hand as we're thrusting forward on this week. Now we close up near the highs this week. We could very easily next week exceed the most recent highs around 125.50 next week. So we got some very good positive movement here, really looking like it's going to continue quite strongly. Euro against the yen, also up today, but not as much. The euro holding it back, up about 65 pips right now, and you can see how we're up above the highest area now that we've been at for quite a few months, actually a couple of years, and really looks like we're going to go higher. It is the weakness of the euro that is holding it back. The weakness in the yen is obviously outstripping the weakness in the euro at this point, but the euro is also fairly weak, so there is not a lot of enthusiasm here about it going all that much further. Now, that being said, we should complete this pattern by getting up to the 137, 138 area. but that will take some time, as we've talked about before. So, and looking on the monthlies here, we can see it a little better. We had that 2-month consolidation back in January, February, and then, I'm sorry, February, March, and now April and May here. We're just we're rocketing up pretty well. So, looks pretty good longer term. Looks like we're going to get to that 138 level, and we may get there even this month. It's very, very possible. So. That is it for this week today, and thank you very much. If you're not a member of FX Addicts, please stop on by. We do offer a 7-day free trial. Also, Forex Secrets, Successful Scalping Strategies from the Dark Side is available on the website in all different types of forms, hard copy as well as electronic copies. So please feel free to pick up your copy of it today. Any other questions or anything, please feel free to contact me at FX Addicts, tim@fxaddicts.com, and look forward to talking to you. Thank you.